Well, hello there, boys and girls. I didn't see you there, forgive me. But out here at Eager Beaver Outdoors, we take incredible pride in our physical fitness. However, what kind of standards do we hold ourselves to? After all, you don't want to see a bunch of skinny losers running around camp, now do you? Of course not. You want to be a masculine man in short shorts, just like me. And that's why today we're out here to really put our own physical wit against the olden day and the modern day. We're going to test out what exactly it was like to experience the World War II PT test, or physical fitness test, to the very modern day Army standard. As of 2022, the Army Combat Fitness Test. So, we have our good old veteran friend Blake in today. He'll be working as referee to make sure I stay honest, and I'll run through both tests today. So enjoy seeing me right now, clean, happy, and beautiful, because I'll be miserable in the next probably 10 minutes. Let's get started.
Hey there, so I'm Blake, part of the Eager Beaver crew. Was in the military for 6 years. So what we're doing today is we're gonna put Anthony through the paces, right? So we are going to put him through the modern day Army physical fitness test, and we are gonna compare it to the World War II test. Now, in my hand, I have the score sheets for modern day and World War II, and we're gonna keep him honest, not gonna let him cheat no matter what. And he's gonna go through every single bit of stuff, and especially for modern day. Since I had to do it, he's gonna do it, and don't you worry, he will not cheat.
And don't worry, gentle listener and viewer, we have the latest in timekeeping technology available. Further, we have the score sheets from 1946 and from 2022, respectively. Let's talk on them in some detail now. Before you here is the FM2120 Physical Training Field Guide from 1946. Although this timing is slightly less than a year after the World War, everything within here is essentially pulled from the standardization of physical training that occurred during 1944. These basics include pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping squats, and a 300-yard sprint. Some of you might think this is incredibly simple and basic, but again, keep two things in mind. One, this is basic training, and two, for a bunch of farm boys coming out of the Great Depression, this is something entirely brand new. I also like to say that looks can be deceiving. This test is harder than you might actually think it is. Moving ahead over 80 years, we have the ACFT, or the Army Combat Fitness Test. This particular test is made up of 6 separate events, including the 3-repetition maximum deadlift, the standing power throw, hand-release push-ups, the sprint drag carry, a standard plank, and then a 2-mile run. I'm going to be extremely honest with you here. I actually had a lot of fun doing this test. I'm not certain if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, at least we have an Army field day now. From here, let's go transition back to our boys in the field.
Alright, so for starters, they wore short shorts in PT back in the day. Now, these aren't the proper UDT or United States military PT shorts. These are my old safari pants from Ranger days, but that being said, they're khaki and they're pretty much the same damn thing. There's a few minor differences, but I'm gonna be honest with you, since I'm running in circles all day, I don't really care that much. Further, PT used to be run in your standard issue military boots. These are the Service Type 2 United States military russet boots. I get a run in these with their beautiful flat bottoms, cobbling, and lack of any real proper upholstery and cushion. That will be very fun indeed. And as a final note, you get to wear a t-shirt. Now, I'm not in the airborne, nor did I ever train at Camp Toccoa, but I'm wearing it because this is the closest thing I had, and I've had this since I was a child, which means one of two things. 1, I was either a very fat child, or 2, I have been in great shape my whole life. You can pick. I don't really care. Now from here, enough about Army fitness training fashion. Let's go and start running through the tests.
And starting off with World War II, we have the pull-up. How exciting is that?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting off here with the Army Combat Physical Fitness Test of 1944-1946. We'll have the full standards listed below in the description, but for now, we're getting started here. To begin, we're going to start off with the very classic pull-up. Now, referee-DS Blake will run us through the very specific standards here. Blake?
All right, so the instructions for the pull-ups are as follows. Each time the performer pulls his chin above the bar in correct form, he is given credit for 1 pull-up. He is not credited with a pull-up if he fails to raise his chin above the level of the bar or if he stops to rest. If the performer does not straighten his arms at the bottom of the movement, if he kicks or jerks, only half a pull-up will be counted. Okay, Anthony, let's get in position. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5,
Bastard.
7.5.
It doesn't count, does it?
No count.
Okay, you got me. You failed. I failed. I have to take a look at the score sheet now.
Yep.
Let's see where that gets us. It's not going to be good.
All right, so after looking at everything, we scored him at 8 pull-ups. So according to our sheet here, 8 pull-ups is going to make him at 52 points. So as of right now, he has 52 points, and we will begin the other exercises now.
Drill Sergeant Blake might be a little generous with that 8 there, but hey, 52 points awarded. Let's continue on. Let us progress now to the squat jump. This is a coordinated exercise that requires jumping, squatting, and flipping feet.
Now, from there, let me get in position. Blake is going to read me my last will, testament, and rights and explain how we perform the jump squat.
So for the jump squat, the performer is credited with 1 squat each time he springs up from the squat to the erect position and returns. The movement is not scored if he fails to descend to a complete squat, if he does not straighten his legs completely and reverse his feet while he is in the air, if he removes his hand from his head, or if he discontinues the movement and comes to a stop. It will not be counted. So, are you ready to begin?
Regretfully, yes.
All right. Assume the position.
You count?
Yep. All right, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And let's speed it up here, ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of good time. How about that?
26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Where's that put us?
30 puts us at,
Is it bad?
we are at 57 points.
Should have done more. I shouldn't have called it short. Oh dear.
Unfortunately, Drill Sergeant Blake actually misspoke, because the true score of 30 gets you 42 points. Darn. Now, let us discuss the fun world of sit-ups. Oh boy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably going to get washed out of the army soon, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. Because now we have the sit-up, and it's the old-fashioned kind. Drill Instructor - Drill Sergeant Blake is going to read us through exactly what we need to do in order to complete these and hopefully get a passing score. So, let's get started.
With the sit-ups, the performer must keep his knees straight at all times. He must touch his knee with the opposite elbow each time that he comes up. And he will be given credit for each push-up within 2 minutes. Except if his hands come apart, or if he does not fully touch his knees, or if his knees are bent, he will not be given credits for any sit-ups. And are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be, Doc.
Okay. All right, well, I will be your holder. All right, so you have 2 minutes beginning now. 1, 2.
Again, for the sake of time, we're going to speed it up, but I do want to make a good note here that there's no great trick photography here. Our editors are not that talented.
24. 25. 26.
Yeah.
25.
They got me. Mom, I'm sorry. I've let you down.
And the rather lackluster score of 25 sit-ups brings us 8 points in total. What a pity. Now let us transition to everyone's favorite form of bravado, the push-up. And maybe the score will finally come back up, but
we have a pretty hefty score to bring up here. My drill instructor or drill sergeant, depending on your branch of service, Blake, will now be coming over to read me the instructions.
Okay, so we have some pretty strict guidelines when it comes to the push-ups. So Anthony will assume the front leaning rest position, and I will kneel down beside him. I will slide my hand palm facing down under his chest, and he must go all the way down until his chest touches my hand with not letting his stomach or his legs touch the floor. And then he will come back up fully stretched out, and that is when we count 1. And do you understand that?
Sadly, I do.
All right, let's assume the position.
Ready?
Ready?
All right, let me know when.
Whenever you're ready, you can begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
again we speed up time for your own viewing pleasure.
22, 23, 24, 25.
Call it.
All right, so we finished at 25. Let me grab my score sheet and see what we got. All right, so Anthony got 25 push-ups, which is 41 points, and okay, so that is actually poor.
What do you mean that's poor? How did I get the poor score?
I mean, it is the greatest generation, so they were hardcore.
I think I'm just gonna join the silent generation. I'm about had it.
To reiterate, a score of 25 push-ups gives us 41 points in total, which is poor. Oh boo-hoo. Now we come to the grand finale, the 300-yard sprint. This will be a sight for the ages. Starting at the traffic cone and following this yellow line is our homemade course.
And ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the penultimate challenge, the grand finale of the day. It's the 300-yard dash. Before you hear, we have 90 feet of rope. 90 feet of rope happens to equal 30 yards. So, back in the war, they had 60 yards to run by and would do 5 laps. Because we're shorter, we're going to be doing 10 laps at the 30 yards here to equal our 300 yards. Blake is going to be keeping score and counting time for us. And keep in mind, they would have generally had a flat surface. We're out here running in sand and mud. So other than the fact that you already know I've been hitting poor and fair scores, it's going to probably be even rougher for yours truly. But hey, at least we're out doing it. Drill Sergeant Blake, we're ready for you.
All right, so we will go over the run now. So on my signal, he will start running to the end. He will turn and come back up this way. For this test, since we have shorter rope, he's going to do this 10 times. Each time he rounds this corner, I will count it as 1, and I will give him his time. And he will come around, touch this, and on his 10th final lap, he will just run straight through, and that will be his time. You may begin.
And off to the races we go.
21. 48 seconds.
Ooh, look, he's not so fast now. That pace is slowing down some.
We failed time, didn't we?
15.
Oh boy.
All right, so that was 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Show them the score that you're supposed to get.
All right, so for the run, it is 61 seconds to get 2 points. We were at 75 seconds.
No, that's not easy.
No, that's a lot of, I'd say that's a lot of running. That's really quick times.
Greatest generation.
That's for sure.
I agree with him.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna take a water break now, and then we get a transition. We have just concluded our World War II PT test, and I want to again thank my good friend and fellow veteran here, Blake, for keeping me honest and true in these tests. I can tell you without a doubt right now, I am not in physical shape to compete at that standard. What they were able to do back then on the 1944 and 1946 standards, if you really were going for the excellent score especially, is incredible. That one absolutely pushed me. Now keep in mind, as much as I exercise in my daily life, I didn't train for this one. Our setup isn't optimal, but still, it's a great display, and a humbling display at that, to see what they had to go through just for basic. Because keep in mind, that's not getting your MOS and going to AIT. Your advanced training, where the standard goes up considerably. It's a very good standard, and I suggest you look into it. Further, I'm absolutely gassed, but now my good friend Blake here is going to run you through some of his own thoughts. Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, so absolutely. So looking at the sit-ups, so comparing the sit-ups to what they did back then to modern day sit-ups is just crazy. When they were doing it back then, their legs straight out, and when they came up to their sitting up position, they actually had to turn and touch their knees. So their movement is just so much more complex, and the scores that they have to get to be perfect is not much different than modern day times. And then also too, the run, the 300-yard run, it's not a straight sprint. What it is you are running down, you have to slow down to make your turn, get back to a full sprint, slow down, and you have to keep doing that until you hit 300 yards. So just looking at that and seeing how quick they were and how strong their core is and how well everything is put together, it's I'd have to say they were a lot more in shape than what I thought initially.
With the 300-yard dash now finally completed with a score of perfect 0, we can take the sum of all of these events to see our final score, which gives us 144 points out of 500 points. But enough of feeling sorry for ourselves. Now it's time for the ACFT test to see if we really have what it takes to make it in the military today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've just come to the very end of our World War II PT test, and I'll tell you what, that was a great little exercise. We certainly had a great deal of fun, and it really has me feeling absolutely swell. But now we're done, right?
Wrong. What are you wearing? Position of attention, please. Go. Keep pushing until I'm tired. Push.
2,
Push.
3,
Push.
4,
You are
5,
in white shorts,
6,
shorty shorts,
7,
and the wrong boots.
8,
You are going to
9,
go change,
10,
and we are going to
11,
do the modern day PT
12,
test because it is 2025.
14, 15.
Position of attention, move. Go change, go. We have standards here at Eager Beaver. Today, we are doing the modern day Army Combat Fitness Test. And this test has 5 events, and we will score each one of them. The minimum passing score is 60, and that is 60 per event. You cannot have one event less than 60 or you do fail. So each event will score it and have to hit the minimum score 60 to pass. And then we'll take all those scores and add those together and see how high we get.
Now let's begin the ACFT by reviewing the 3 repetition maximum deadlift. Have fun at the event, gentlemen.
So, here on the Army Combat Fitness Test, our very first actual test for the day, is going to be the max deadlift. What we have here, as you can hopefully see, is roughly 240 pounds if you add the bar to 70. But it's all the weight that we actually have available to us. We could probably do more, but this is what we have, so we're gonna make it work for here. Fortunately, if I can complete this, it means I've already passed. Now, Drill Sergeant Blake is gonna come up and explain exactly what I have to do and how he's gonna keep score.
All right, so I have the score sheet here for the max deadlift. So he has to get a total of 3 repetitions, and 1 rep is, so all the way, so he lifts it up, puts it all the way down, back up. So he has to touch the ground and then come back up, and that's one full rep. So to make this count, like I said, 3 repetitions. And so whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Okay. Ready for the count.
Begin. 1, 2, and 3. And so he did complete this event exactly how you're supposed to do it. And so this would count for his PT score.
I feel really nice and warm. A little underworked, but I'm happy.
And with that concluded, that gives us a score of exactly 60 points. Now we're on to our very next event. That's right. It's the standing power throw. Very fun.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the ACFT, we're at part 2, which is the SPT, or the standing throw. You're supposed to have a 10-pound medicine ball to toss, but we don't have a medicine ball. We just have a 10-pound dumbbell. So we're gonna chuck this as far as we can and hopefully not kill anybody. Now, Drill Sergeant Blake will tell me how far it has to go and the points I need to pass.
All right. So this is a pass or fail event. So you have to have a minimum of 60 points, and 60 points is 21 feet. There is no, you cannot throw it any less than 21 feet to pass. All right, let's assume the position and throw when ready.
I hope we made it, Dad. I think we made it. What do you say, Drill Sergeant?
Well, congratulations, soldiers. You passed this event.
I feel so Army strong now.
With that passing score, again, we get a whole exciting 60 points. Now let's progress to the very next event. That's right. It's the hand release push-ups, full arm extension.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now on to the next form of competition, the hand release push-up. I'll give a short demonstration just to explain how that works. But first, Drill Sergeant Blake is going to come over here chastising me about how I'm going to get my 60 points. Please.
All right, so what Anthony has to do to pass this event and get his minimum 60 points is 10 hand release push-ups. You got this?
Actually, this is the first time I feel good all day.
You got this?
I'm going to eat those words. I'm scared now.
A real quick technical here, that for the hand release push-up, you need to get your chest fully down onto the deck. From there, you need to splay out your arms like a starfish, bring them back under the shoulder, and press up. Now, let's go.
Okay, so we are ready to begin the hand release push-up section. Anthony, if you will, assume the position. And begin. 1, 2.
And let's speed up the film here so we don't have to watch Anthony smack dirt all day.
13. 14. 15. I think we'll be there. That's 15.
Demonstration completed.
Demonstration completed, and Anthony has passed the push-ups, and we are ready to move to the next event.
And with 15 push-ups completed, that gives us a score of 63 points. Really moving up in the world there. Wowie, wow, wow. And now, we go to the sprint drag carry, a very Olympic-like activity.
Now we're here at the third challenge of the day for the Army Combat Fitness Training Test. This here is going to be the sprint drag and carry. What I have to do is sprint down this alley and back, then drag 90 pounds from here, there, and back. And then individually, you're supposed to carry 40-pound kettlebells in hand, running there and back one last time. Now we're a touch limited with what we can do, so let me point it out to you. For starters, their run is at 25 meters. What we have here is 90 feet. So that's roughly 7 more feet than they're supposed to run. It's gonna mess up our time some. I don't really care about that. We're kind of just having fun with this one. Number 2, when it comes down here to what we're dragging, you'll notice that these weights here, the 90 pounds, are not on a sled, nor do they have proper handles. We just made handles out of a dog leash and a ratchet strap. For our purposes, that's fine. But keep in mind, we're running in the mud, and this is gonna pick up just a lot of dirt and frankly crap. So that's gonna slow us down too, but we're boys playing in the mud. We're born for this. Also, the kettlebells are supposed to be 40 pounds. I didn't feel like buying a 40-pound kettlebell. We're just gonna take these off and run with 45-pound weights. Now, let me transition over here with our good old Drill Sergeant Blake, and he's going to explain to us the score that we need to get in order to pass today. Blake, tell us what we have to do, please.
All right, so for this event here, for the sprint, drag, and carry, to pass, you have to have a minimum of 2 minutes and 32 seconds. And that is the whole thing in 2 minutes and 32 seconds to pass. You got this.
Yeah, I bet. I feel really good now.
And begin.
And right there, we're off to a muddy start, but hey, there's still a chance he might pass. Just maybe.
20 seconds.
This is going to be fun in the mud.
And the sound of Christmas bells really does bring joy to the heart, doesn't it? And we do want it on the official record that we had to pause the camera in order to take off the straps for our weights. But that being said, we asked a viewer not to view this as cheating. Please bear with us here.
All right, Anthony, so you finished up. You did really well. So your final score was 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yay, woohoo.
Which is giving you 62 points. So you did pass.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
How often do you get to shake hands with the drill instructor or drill sergeant? Never.
And concluding what Drill Sergeant Blake has said, that brings the sprint drag carry up to 62 points. So far, we're almost at a very below average Army standard. Woohoo! And now we progress to the plank, a very classic exercise indeed.
Now, my good friends, we're coming to near the end of our ACFT testing, and we have one of the final physical exercises, the plank. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to pretend I'm a board and not a human being, and hold that position for a certain amount of time in order to pass this test. Drill Sergeant Blake, what do we need to pass?
Okay, so to pass the plank event, this is a pass or fail event, and you need at least 1 minute and 20 seconds of holding the plank.
Okay.
All right.
We already started?
Oh, go.
You can count it. Ready?
And go.
And let's speed things up here so we don't have to watch the human board for a whole minute. That being said, look at that form slowly give way.
1 minute, 20 seconds to go. Ten seconds. 5 seconds. Hold it. There it is.
Oh, that was a terrible finish.
Well, I would have to say I did start the timer a little bit late, so you were in the position before. But you did pass this event with 60 points, and we are ready to move on to our final event.
I accept that.
With the plank having been completed with a passing score, that gives us exactly 60 more points. Now we move on to the very finale of this challenge. Indeed, we've finally made it to the 2-mile run, the part that everyone here loves the most about the ACFT.
Ladies and gentlemen, my good viewers, we're now here to the very end of the ACFT. We're here for the 2-mile run, which, as the name implies, quite astutely you might know this, means I get a run for 2 miles. But what's the scoring like? Well, Drill Sergeant Blake is here to explain. DS Blake, please.
Okay, for the 2-mile run, to get the passing score 60, you will need to run 2 miles in 22 minutes. And that is the minimum score to have to pass.
This might just be doable, boys and girls. I could die, but it might be doable.
It is doable. Okay, ready for the 2-mile run?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's assume the position. And on my mark, you'll go. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we are off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. Let's follow up with our boy in the field now to see just how well he is doing.
Well, hey there. How's it going?
I feel swell.
You're only halfway there.
Wait, what?
Keep going.
What?
We'll see you at the
What?
end.
Oh, it certainly hurts to be left behind like that, but chin up, old boy. After all, good form will get you home, right?
Wow, after nearly completing the 2-mile run, I'm so happy I haven't fallen. Oh no. It appears that I've dreadfully hurt myself and probably received a critical injury. What a shame, especially after coming so far and only needing a half-mile to go. If only there were alternative events to the 2-mile run in the ACFT.
Oh, dearie me, with these life-altering injuries sustained by Anthony, how can we continue on with this perfect scoreboard I've been keeping track of? And that means the narrator, me, will be out of a job. Oh, children, don't look at Papa cry. Gretchen, Colby, look away. Oh, if only there was an alternative to the ACFT run. If only there was an alternative.
All right, so there is actually 4 alternative events you can do to say if you're injured or if your command allows it. And they are the 2.5-mile walk, the 12-kilometer bike ride, the 1-kilometer swim, or the 5-kilometer row. And Anthony is actually about to demonstrate all of those for us.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2.5-kilometer power walk is an excellent way and alternative to stay physically fit. Just remember, you have to complete it in roughly 30 minutes, depending on your age bracket. Now, excuse me as I sashay away.
Oh my, I didn't want to see that much. Moving ahead, here's the 12-kilometer bicycle ride.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in order to perform the 12K at the military standard, you roughly have to get 25 to 26 minutes of cycling in for 12 kilometers, or roughly a little over 7 miles, which is super fun. That being said, be careful and, wear a helmet, unlike what I'm doing here.
And now here, Anthony displays the 5-kilometer row. Wait, no, this is not correct. This is incorrect. The 5-kilometer row looks like you should be on the machine like this, and you need to finish it in roughly 30 minutes. Okay, we're just moving on here.
I was sincerely hoping to show you the 1-kilometer swim, but we don't even have a foot of water right now, and it's also 34 degrees out. So just remember that the 1K generally has to be completed under 20 minutes. Just take it to heart.
Now, with the 2-mile run and alternative events completed, what are our final thoughts on this test? Further, what is the final score of the day?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, switching into the modern age here, what is my score for the ACFT?
Okay, so for the ACFT, the minimum score you have to get to pass is 360. Now, Anthony's score is 331, but we did not finish the run because about 1.5 miles in, Anthony had his accident and we wanted to try the alternatives. So we did not count the run, but all of his other scores was 331. So could he have passed it? I think he could have passed it with no issues at all.
Such a complimentary guy. And just think, 30 minutes ago, he was yelling at me. Swell. Now, boys and girls, as you can tell, all of this setup here for the World War II PT test, as well as the ACFT, is entirely homemade. There are several items that we did not have and frankly didn't feel like buying for this film shoot. But it should also be a testament that for less than $20, we were able to set most everything up between everything that we shared here in the neighborhood and run these basic exams. Are the environments perfect? No. Running in the mud is not a great way to go about a physical fitness test. Most of them had either hard surfaces or at least a rigid running ground of dirt, like a football or soccer field. Further, do we have all the great equipment? No. but we make it work. As a final note here, you need to train up for all of these because that was what they were ultimately going for in the physical fitness testing. Now, we went into this one fairly raw, and I'd say I'm quite pleased with our results because of it. I'd also like to say that Blake and I both trained formally for the APFT, which is the older version, and is frankly a bit out of date. But I'll be extremely honest right here. I enjoy doing both of these. For those of you just at home, you'll probably have a ball running through some of these exercises. And if you're starting off, don't worry about the times, just get the motions down. Getting used to that is going to be the biggest leap. After that, it's a lot of technique. Again, I had a great amount of fun. But like we said earlier, the World War II physical test, I thought was actually a lot more difficult and a lot more trying. Coming into it, I was also less familiar with it, so I probably could have pressed through on a few specific points there that got a higher score. But at the same time, that one took the wind out of me. That one was an extremely tiring event, whereas with the new ACFT, I thought it was pretty easy. With a minimal amount of training, you can probably completely pass the current course and setup. That being said, if you want to maximize it, there are people on YouTube that can help you do that. Study up for it, work hard. Good luck to you. With all of that said, if you've enjoyed today's story and physical exercise, please like and subscribe below. Further, if you'd like to see more of our content, please let us know what you would like to see and talk on it below. We love hearing back from all of our great people in the Eager Beaver community. Now, before I sign off, I want you to know that as miserable a wretch as I am, and as poorly as I physically performed out here, all of my boys out here could easily ace all of those tests without even looking at it. I'm going to give you the physical video proof right now to show you that Tauntaun, Edom, and Dr. Blake are all physically fit, deeply masculine men and would never cheat or lie about this whatsoever because they have what it takes to really be eager beavers. Let me show you.
359, 360, 361, 362, 363, 364. Transition to one-arm pull-ups. Go! Transition, armless pull-ups. Go!
All right, Blake, get in the sprinting position now, please. Remember, you need to run 20 miles today. When I say go, you go. Timer starts now, go. Good. Good, that's good. You ran 20 miles in roughly 15-ish seconds? It's a little slower than last week, buddy. I need you to kind of pick it up here, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to move you back to the demotivated squad. But
I'll do better. I'll do better.
it's all good. I appreciate your effort. You stay on the team this week, though, buddy.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right, let's go. Keep going. Push.
998.
Push.
999.
Push. Push.
1000.
One arm push up. Go.
Yeah.
Push. Push.
Yeah.
Push.
Yeah.
Armless push ups. Go. Push. Push.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we hope you've enjoyed today's physical fitness demonstration by everyone here on the team. As always, when we do these historical shows, it really is humbling to live in their shoes once more. I had a great deal of fun being out here, and I'm happy to show you how to fail at exercises and maybe on occasion just how to succeed. Again, thank you so much for your time. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment below. And finally, this is the Eager Beaver, signing off.